What's up, everybody? It's Michaela B here with another crazy episode of The Tea. If you didn't watch this last episode, just know it ended with your favorite person going home. So let's jump right into it. This episode started with Aubrey winning an immunity challenge, the whole stack the cards situation. And, she got that win. She was the slow and steady wins the race person. And I guess this was a time where Aubrey decided that she wanted to make a move. But unfortunately for Aubrey, probably was kind of a little too late. And the tribe ended up blindsiding Andrea. Now, interesting fact about this, I've had some people ask me, considering that you got voted off right after Andrea, was that a bad decision for you to turn on your... No. Let me tell you why. Because in that game, yes, I voted with that group. However, I knew where I lied in that group, and I knew that the only reason that I was included in that group to begin with was because Sari included me, right? So conversations about vote-offs, I wasn't included in the sense that you include a partner. I was kind of like the person that after the real people in the alliance talked about something, then if ever I was around, they'd say, oh, by the way, we've decided to do this, or we think this. So I knew I wasn't a full partner. I was like a silent partner. I was kind of like that outsider, right? And my issue, though, was I saw Andrea and Aubrey as a pair, and Aubrey was a person that didn't really talk to me. Aubrey had already voted for me before in this game, and me and Aubrey never really made amends after that. I tried, but I caught her in multiple lies. So it was dangerous for me to let numbers dwindle and know that there is one person who 100% doesn't want to work with me, and that person has a strong partner, right? And so that was my justification behind being for the Andrea vote. Now, this kind of leads to the whole go fishing scene, because that was kind of abrupt. But what happened there was, initially at the beginning of the day, a lot of people were on board with this Brad idea. But, at the Sierra vote, I had already spoken with one person about Andrea being a potential next. Like that was already in my mind, and that I knew that was already in the atmosphere. So as that name started coming back up, Andrea, I wanted to throw out ideas as to why to keep Brad. Because again, I wasn't in a space in the game where I could make decisions as to who goes home. If the only person I could speak openly with that wouldn't judge me, or I didn't have to worry about them running off and saying something, was Sari. So I could speak candidly with Sari, but with anyone else, all I could do is say why I would want someone to stay. So I brought the idea that, I would want Brad to stay in the game because Brad can go fishing, and we have a whole week left in the game. And if Brad goes home, then we're all going to starve. And that was my little pitch that I could do. So right after this pitch, I noticed we're doing the tally around camp, and Brad's missing. And someone said, do you think Brad's finding an idol? Like the idea of Brad searching for an idol came up. So I took it upon myself to be like, you know what? I'll go check, make sure he's not finding an idol. I go over there with the intention of telling Brad, go fishing. Like, that's a good look for you right now. I couldn't say, Brad, half of the people want to vote for you and half the people want to vote for Andrea, and we're working on the last couple votes that we need to send Andrea home. So in order to make yourself look like an asset to the tribe, the best thing for you to do right now is not be in the bushes, but actually to go fishing, because everybody can keep an eye on you, and everybody gets super happy when they're able to taste meat. That's what I would have liked to say, but I can't do that, because what Brad probably would have done is run straight to the camp and tell Andrea, Michaela said they're trying to vote you out, which would have got me on the chopping block. And as you saw, instead of listening to the words that came out of my mouth, which were, my suggestion to you is to go fishing because people think you are looking for an idol. Instead of listening to that, somehow Brad hears, go fishing or I'll vote you out, which is not what I said, and runs to camp and says that. And I'm like, see, this is why I can't play with you. So, anywho, that's where that came from. A lack of tact on my end, but also a lack of knowing, like, how can I communicate something important to this person without giving this person too much information, because clearly I cannot trust him. So that was that. But anywho, Andrea vote goes, and actually the next vote, let it be known from the majority at that point, was the idea was if Brad does not win immunity, Ty and Sarah wanted to vote Brad. Once Brad won the immunity, you had Sari that wanted to vote Ty. You had Sarah that wanted to vote Aubrey. You had Brad that never talked to me, so I didn't know what Brad wanted to do. You had Troyzan, who was never fully, like, up front. Troyzan talked in circles a lot, so I didn't know. It's like he didn't want to just tell me what he was trying to say, so I did not understand what he was trying to say. And then you had Ty, who flipped back and forth every 15 minutes. You had me, who wanted to vote Sarah, right? And just to rewind, I had no idea that Andrea actually wanted to vote Sarah because Andrea never talked to me about it. Maybe we could have done something together, but I wasn't part of that conversation. So there were all these ideas in the air, but a lot of people in the game were really smitten by Sarah and wanted to do whatever they could do to pacify her. So at this point, Sarah was kind of calling the shots, and she called this shot of Aubrey, which I don't particularly, or in the game, I didn't particularly care for Aubrey. However, I just felt like, it's not the smartest move right now. Let's take out somebody who's actually a threat. Like, Aubrey doesn't have any friends. Her only potential friend is Ty. And if anybody has idols, Ty might have them. So why not take out Ty? So it was strange to me. And I tried to talk to Sarah about that, and she wasn't having it. She was 100% sold on Aubrey. Then I tried to talk to Sari. She wasn't having anything. She was 100% sold on Ty. And my regret in that moment is not swallowing my pride to try to go strategize between Aubrey, Ty, Troyzan, or even Brad. Because there was another option there had I done enough scrambling. Or at least I like to wish there was. Potentially Brad would have never worked for me. I don't know. We've never had a great relationship in the game. But, you know, I'll never know because I didn't try. So anywho, tribal council come. The consensus is vote Aubrey. And then there's a couple people who are voting Ty because they actually want Ty to go home. Sari decides to use this advantage to send Ty home. Why she didn't just go to Troyzan and Brad and ask them to vote Ty, or really she only needed one of them to vote Ty. Either Troyzan or Brad. Because I could have voted Ty, Sari could have voted Ty, Aubrey could have voted Ty. Sarah was not going to vote Ty. So we only needed one person if she really wanted to vote Ty. I guess she was convinced that neither Brad nor Troyzan will vote Ty, which I just don't feel is true. So, anywho, Sari tries to play this advantage. The reason that Sari never read the fine print is because Sarah did not give her that advantage until right before tribal council. So Sarah's real slick, y'all, if you haven't noticed. But so Sari reads that advantage, and as she's reading it, I'm like, I told you not to do this. And then once Jeff said that she could not use it, I was like, this is bad. But at this point in the game, y'all, I'm exhausted. You know, I hate the drama of the game. I hate whispering. I'm the type of person, let's just talk out loud. Let's just hear what it really is. The truth shall set you free, right? But I was over all the whispering and stuff. So I heard Brad say, you see what they are trying to do to you, Sarah. And I was like, I wasn't a part of this advantage thing. I knew about it, but I wasn't supporting it. So that's when I get up and I'm like, now I need to go to Sarah because he's throwing out this idea that I'm a part of this. And Sarah thinks that, you know, Sari was trying to send her home, which she wasn't. Sari was trying to send Ty home, right? So it was this whole debacle. Everybody's whispering and they're whispering names. I'm sitting here just listening to names. I hear Aubrey. I hear Ty. I hear Aubrey. I hear Ty. But then when Sarah takes Ty's vote and tells me to vote for Ty, I'm like, that's too many people gonna vote for Ty. But I didn't do anything about it. Mistake number 3. So, long story short, when I saw my name once, I knew I was going home. And kudos to Sarah. She got me before I can get her. So, anywho, that's a recap. A couple questions that you guys had. How was this experience in 34 different from 33? My experience was completely different. In 33, I was very naive to what's really important in the game of Survivor. I genuinely thought that I could just help my team win and we could work together and I could find a couple loyal people and we could bring back old school Survivor days. And I was rudely mistaken. Got blindsided, 7th, So I learned my lesson there. I learned if my heart likes somebody but my head is saying they're out for you, listen to the head and close off your heart. And it was the hardest thing for me to do, but I did it. This game was also different because just coming into the game, I felt like from a social perspective, I was so at a disadvantage. I still do not understand or know why certain people had such animosity towards me. I genuinely do not know what I did. I really don't think I did anything to certain people, those certain people being JT, Brad, and Sierra. And I just felt like my hands were tied most of this game. There were a lot of people, particularly people who started off on Nuke, who at the merge, they just weren't open to working with me. I was kind of like that person that you touch with a pole, right? And the pole was called Suri. So most of the information that I received had to be filtered through Suri, or I had to just watch and infer things, or walk up on conversations, as you saw a couple times. Because genuinely, a lot of people wouldn't strategize me, or they just wouldn't be open with me, or they lie straight to my face. And it was just a difficult thing for me to overcome. But I learned a lot from that experience, and nobody can faze me in real life now because I dealt with it 24/7 for 35 days. So let's see what else we have here. Another great benefit to this game was I had the amazing opportunity to work with Sari and Sandra. I can't tell you how much of a relief it was to have those two people in the game at various points in time. The fact that I could be myself and speak how I speak. I didn't need to code switch around Sari and Sandra. I didn't need to, put on some type of airs. I could actually be myself and they weren't intimidated. They weren't confused. They didn't perceive me as ghetto. Like none of these things. They just saw it as a young woman. And they knew that young woman because they were her a few years ago, or I'm Sandra's daughter, or I'm Sari's, friend. Like, it means so much when people share a similar background with you because they understand you on a deeper level and it gives you something to connect with that person over. So that was the biggest blessing for me in this game, and I'm grateful that I had Sandra the first half of the game, and I'm so grateful I got swapped away from her so that other people could vote her off. And I'm grateful I had Sari the second half of the game. Let's see what we have here. My regrets. Only regrets I have in Game Changers is one, not keeping my cool enough to search for and see that advantage in that reward challenge that I was set out on. 2, not scrambling that last day, day 35, when I didn't want to vote Aubrey. Instead, just going along with the plan. And really 3, not standing up and doing something when I saw that Ty felt comfortable enough not to play an idol. But outside of that, I really enjoyed my experience on Game Changers. Looking forward to the finale next week. I'm going to make another video answering some more questions. So thank y'all for being a part of the tea. Love you guys. Have a great day.